Thank you for joining us at Books as Bad as Twilight podcast. This podcast will discuss books that may or may not be as bad as the popular series Twilight. As can be expected, we will discuss the books in detail, so spoiler alert.
We highly suggest you read the book beforehand or read along with us. You can use the link in our show notes to purchase the current book we're reading. Also in our show notes are links to the Books as Bad as Twilight website and all of our social media pages. Quick shout out to our image designer, Katie Hartung. Her website is listed in our show notes at khartgraphics.com. KHART graphics.com.
Music at the beginning of the show provided by Gabe Miller Music. You can find him on YouTube, SoundCloud, and his website, GabeMillerMusic.com.
Maybe we'll get through this.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
One day.
All right.
All right, let's get down to business.
Yes, today is that day that we will get through it. Because welcome to Books as Bad as Twilight podcast. Woo-hoo. Today, we'll be continuing our reading of Lost in a Book by Jennifer Donnelly.
Yeah.
We are covering chapters 60 through 64. So we ask that you either read up to and including 64 or, just bullshit with us. It's fine. Mm-hmm. My name is Brittany.
I am Danielle.
And I'm Tatyana.
Hey, Tatyana.
Welcome back.
All right.
So nice to have you for our almost ending podcast episode.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
The second to last episode.
It's so funny how different the way you're speaking now that you have a microphone directly in front of you. Oh, thank you for having me.
I know. Do we sound professional right now? Because we got a new microphone.
That was super fresh.
It was. I'm not going to lie. I think we should all just pat ourselves in the back real quick. Just go ahead.
We can pat each other's backs because there's three of us and we're in a circle. Oh, wait. No one's patting my back.
You got it. There you go.
Oh, thanks.
The coffee
coffee
canister. It's all good.
So funny.
So before we begin.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
what, you okay there?
ooh, piece of candy. Yep.
Oh, piece.
It's Family Guy. Come on, guys.
I don't want you. Because you said that another time and I was like, where?
Me too. I was like, candy.
You got excited.
Candy.
Yeah.
I love candy.
Me too. Well, we should have gotten to some at Wawa. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
We were right there.
Right there.
Everyone on the West Coast, it's okay if you don't know what Wawa is. We'll explain later.
No, we won't.
No, we won't. No, we won't. But it's a magical place that
Google
has
it.
everything.
Link in the show notes.
Yeah, but I prefer Sheets, to be perfectly honest.
How dare you?
Sheets has better
They
better
better
ready-to-move food.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
No, you're
so
right.
Sheets.
They have more options, but I
Yeah.
like Wawa's chicken finger sandwich
I
better.
mean, why don't you just throw Royal Farms into the mix?
I've never been to Royal
Ew,
Farms.
I hate Royal Farms.
Wow.
What about 7-Eleven? Hey,
Stop,
just kidding.
stop, just stop.
No, I'm kidding.
Turkey
Okay.
Hill, anyone?
I like.
Let's bring this back now.
I love
Let's
how
bring
she's
this back.
bringing
I
us
will
back.
be the voice of reason.
You're going to be
Let's
the
bring it
moderator?
back. Yes,
Yeah.
the moderator.
All right. So you can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and our website, BaBaTpodcast.com, or BaBaT, or BaBaT. We should have like a poll. How do
What
people
did you
pronounce
say?
it? Like,
Yeah.
did they say it like BaBaT or BaBaT or BaBaT?
BaBaT. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. You can cut that because I'm on my own microphone, right?
I can cut it. Well,
Brilliant.
yeah, and she wasn't talking. So, yeah, here's something to know. Anything we say will be picked up on there, but anything she says will not be picked up on here. And if it is,
Wait,
it'll
what?
be very quiet.
Because that
yeah.
mic's a lot more sensitive to the surrounding noise. You're going to hear my voice on your mic.
That's why
mine won't hear yours.
That's why when I blow my nose and Brittany's talking, it's like, well, I guess that's staying in.
Yeah.
Oh, so if I'm talking, you do something embarrassing, you can't cut it out.
Correct.
Unless you repeat.
I mean, you can pretty much cut anything I say out, right? I'm like a third arm.
What you say is important. You're like a third. That's not a good.
Yeah, you definitely want to cut out a 3-armed.
That should be my.
That's
This
amazing.
is Tatyana, and I'm like the third arm. Useful, but not wanted.
Oh my god. That is not what we think of you.
Oh my
We
god,
love
that's
having
so
you.
funny.
Useful, but aesthetically unpleasant to look at.
That could be your recording for Chris.
Useful, but really hard to cloth.
Clothes.
Clothe?
I was gonna say I'm like
Damn
cloth.
It's hard to have so many languages in my brain.
Hard to cloth. I'm like, imagine you making a cloth out of a third arm.
That's
and the
right.
guy's disgusting, Tatyana.
God.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I bet folks listening that you never thought that you'd hear about third arms on this episode. But there you go.
I mean, I could be a third leg, but I don't want to be.
Or a penis.
No. I wouldn't be
Oh,
a
we
third
talked
penis.
about
There's
that
no penises
with
here.
with Chip. Yeah.
My brother was laughing so hard at that.
What?
Chip's
third arm.
handle.
Uh-huh.
Because he's a little kid, he doesn't really know about his little pee-pee. And
So he's going to wake up as a real boy. I'm like, look at
Aw,
my third
dang.
arm.
Well, no, come on. He was a little boy. He already had a BB.
yeah, but he gets
What age did he turn into?
5, right?
No, like a baby.
No,
yeah,
he was
that's
like 5.
No, 10 years they've been resting. He is like 6 years
They're
old.
stuck in the same age they went down as.
But then that doesn't make any sense because the beats
Yeah.
ages.
Yeah, and when does it say that?
Because he's not furniture.
No.
He's an animal.
No, it says in the at least in the original movie. I would have to re-examine the other one, but it says for his 21st year, that's when the curse will end.
Yeah.
Meaning that he is aging, and when
But
he gets to his
her
21st
point
year,
was that furniture can't age, but animals can. So he's
that's a
aging.
BS explanation, though.
And no, but it makes sense because if he got, how many years have passed?
10.
10.
Okay. Well,
But then Chip wouldn't.
Be a
No, that's
boy.
BS. Sorry.
if she's like
Yeah.
21 and he's like much older, right? Or
I feel like
What?
we're just like pulling at like we're just kind of trying.
So,
to find
Chip
answers.
is not a
Chapter
baby.
60.
Anyway, moving on.
Chapter
should we do like a
60.
so we can cut it out?
We don't have to cut it out. That was
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh,
You know,
about my third arm. Please tell me you're gonna keep that in.
I will totally keep that in. That's great podcast material. Okay. I don't know if you realize this, but people love dirty humor.
By the way, I am aesthetically
And not
pleasant to
that
look
that-
at, people, just so you know.
Not
See.
that that was dirty humor, but the Chip stuff was.
Or my boyfriend says that.
All right, so chapter 60.
Do we have anything else to say before we start? We want to talk? Yes. Okay. You go ahead.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you guys are making it. Stop pressuring me.
You wanted to do this.
All right, so today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/BABAT. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. For you, the listeners of Books as Bad as Twilight, Podcast Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service.
Good. Great job.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
It's like, now take a deep breath.
Stress.
Wasn't I breathing?
No, you were fine. No. I'm
No,
just
that
saying,
was
like,
very
after you're
good.
done. Yeah, like, no, you're good. Yeah, you don't need to read that yet.
No.
But
Usually
it's
we just bullshit until the opportunity arises for us to do that.
Yeah.
Well, nobody told me this.
That's okay.
I'm letting you
No
know.
one tells anything to the third arm.
The third arm is going to know where to go. What is my purpose? That would be a great musical.
Oh my god! From the perspective of the third arm,
Dude, that would he would have the I Want song, what's that song from The Wizard and I from Wicked? Like the arm just wants to belong, but it has no.
and he always has to hide.
Yeah, and he's like one arm throws the
They
baseball,
only
one
bring
writes.
me out when they go shopping. Or when they go to Wawa and they get a sandwich, a coffee, and then they remember they want a candy bar.
Or they're trying to flaunt me for
He
attention.
can never wear any gloves because they don't only come in singles. He never has a pair.
Oh my god.
He's forever alone.
Wait a minute. It would
Why
be
is
so
he
cool
here?
if we could actually write a
Wait,
song.
why did I turn into a heel all of a sudden?
I think
Well,
it's
what if
because
the
it's a
arm-
musical.
Oh, in the musical, you automatically turn me into a man.
Okay, it will
That's
be a-
great.
we weren't
Since
thinking
when
you.
a woman can't have her own musical?
Why can't your
We
arm
just
identify
mentioned
as a
Wicked.
man?
because I identify as a woman.
Okay, the musical would it was separate from you. But if you want
Why
to be a
can't we
woman,
keep it gender neutral then? If it's the
a
perspective
they,
of
could it be a
arm.
they?
Well, if it's a perspective of a
it-
third arm.
It does have 5 fingers, so they.
Oh my god! Different personalities on different.
Can you
fingers.
imagine a schizophrenic third arm? It's
This
just
is
knocking
getting
at
out of control. This is my third arm, people. I mean, I'm the third arm. Stop it. You're taking this way too far.
I feel like, real quick, I feel like there's just something that is missing, like that we haven't said yet.
No, the website, intros, Audible.
Is this parts we're going to cut out later?
Yeah, I'm cutting
This
out.
little part, yeah.
In that
Oh.
case, in a galaxy.
All right. And one more note, spoiler warning. Obviously you said just be sure to read the chapters because we will be spoiling them. All right. Let's get into it.
That little thing, that's what was bothering you.
I didn't even know what was bothering me. I just looked. All right.
All right, chapter 60. So last chapter, where we left off, Belle came to the realization that Nevermore is a shit show. And she's gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah.
So she is running from the summer house where all the possessed puppets and marionettes were to the chateau to find the Countess and get her bracelet.
Yes, indeed.
Did I say that correctly?
That was beautiful.
Thank you. The chateau.
It warmed my heart.
Oh, wow.
So. Just that weird silence.
You guys were looking at me and I'm like, should I talk?
So, chapter 60.
When you're editing this, can you like fill the silence with crickets?
Yes, I could.
I like crickets.
There's an abundance of things that can be done. All right. Like when you, well, never mind.
Wait, what?
I'll tell you after we're done recording.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, does anyone have anything to say about 60?
Well, do we have one sentence summaries, or do we just skip that for today? Because we didn't.
Well, the one sentence summary for this is she's running to the chateau.
Fair enough.
That literally is all that's happening because there's like 2
There's-
pages on
I was
this.
going to say, there's not much left in this book. Like, these chapters must be really short.
They're so
They
short.
wrap it up real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see you have 3 notes on 60. What do you have?
I just wrote that, like, the chapter starts out where it says, Belle, so exhausted, she could barely walk. And I'm thinking, yeah, so exhausted. She hasn't slept in, like, 3 freaking days.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Like, it never, like, says that she actually, like, got to sleep at any point. So I'm like, all right, so you can't really function right now. Come on, girl. Gotta get that sleep so you can get out of Nevermore. But, you know, that's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's okay.
And then the other note I had was that the pacing of this book, like, it's, I mean, like Twilight.
I'm sorry. I just read the part where she threw Otto's key away, and I got really sad. King Otto is my absolute favorite. Shut up.
What did you
I
think
haven't
of
said a
Otto?
word.
What were your thoughts on
great.
Otto? You thought he was great?
I think he's a very sweet character.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you're the odd
I
man
think
out.
I think he's a sweet character. I just think that they don't implement him enough to actually care about him. I just don't care.
Anyways, go on. What were you saying about Twilight?
It's just a tactic. But anyway,
I'm sorry.
no, you're fine. Yeah, like in Twilight, you know, well, we've all read Twilight, right? You've read it, yeah. So in Twilight, it's very slow for most of the book. But then, once you get to like a certain point, like toward the ending, where they have that baseball game and that vampire comes, it moves really quickly.
I hate that.
It's
that
really
was the
bad.
worst ending to a book.
Yeah, well, but it moves really fast though.
It moves really fast.
And that's when the book, even though it's bad, it actually gets interesting for once.
They should have fought. Like, the whole series was leading them to fighting this big vampire war, and the wolves come out.
Are you
and
talking
help-
about Breaking Dawn? I'm talking about the actual Twilight book.
Oh, is that the end? Oh, that is
Yeah.
the end. I'm thinking at that Breaking Dawn.
Yeah,
then.
no, I'm talking about the
I'm getting
actual book.
confused.
Yeah, the series sucked at the
Yeah.
end. But yeah, the actual Twilight book, where I think his name's James, maybe, comes and takes Bella to like a ballet studio where she lives, and like it's this whole big thing, and it's really rushed and it's really
God, I
fast.
forgot
read.
about all of that.
Yeah, it's easy to forget.
Yeah.
But it's very rushed, just like this book. Like all of a sudden, it's so fast paced.
Yeah.
Like I guess I read this really quickly. I don't know about you.
Running
too?
to the end. Yeah, I did. I read the last couple chapters pretty quickly. A, because they're like 2 pages each.
It's easy, yeah.
And B, because now we have action.
Yeah, and I get, like, it's nice to have it a fast read, but just the pacing is so bad. The pacing's just terrible that, like, it just goes so slow, and then all of a sudden it's, like, really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I can't complain too much, because I wanted it to be over.
I was really sad.
I was suffering.
This second paragraph, she's running with her, like, dirty dress, the hem being all torn, and she stopped at a weed-choked pond where she stopped to throw away Otto's key. Why isn't she keeping the key?
That's
this
a good
is
question.
Like her best friend in this world, and she didn't keep the key?
Yeah, why
She just killed him and took, like, the only, like... She killed him.
I
He's
agree.
dead.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I know.
okay.
I'm just making a face because I agree with you. Why
Yeah,
would she throw away the
I
key?
would have kept the key.
That's
Had
such
it
a
next
mistake.
to the heart.
That's such a
on her
mistake on the author's part.
No.
She didn't have to throw that key away.
Because Death can always just find that key and reanimate Otto, which was
Right.
what he did not want.
She can manipulate other people. Belle is helping Death oppress.
God damn it, Belle.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, you guys, that she's not thinking about any of that. She's just running, and she's exhausted,
know.
and she hasn't stopped in 3
But then
days.
why did
That's
she?
true.
But why did she stop and make a conscious decision to throw the key away?
Was it conscious? I mean,
I
she's
think
exhausted.
I think it might be just for dramatic
Yeah.
Probably.
effect.
Look.
Let me take a breather right here by the Swede pond.
And throw away this.
I'm carrying this really heavy key. For all
Oh,
we know,
that's
it's
true.
huge. We don't know how big this key
That
is,
That's
by the way.
true. That's
It could be
true.
like the size of
You're very right.
and it's hindering her running.
You're very right.
I mean,
I'm always
look.
right.
Look, I'm gonna call like a little bit of BS on that because it's a good explanation, but it's like we're kind of just making things up. At
It's
this
probably
point.
about the size of the arm, though, because physically
yeah.
that makes
It's
sense.
a big, it's
Yeah.
a human-sized puppet, and to turn the key, usually they're pretty
It
big.
has
Right,
to be
yeah,
at least
right.
the size of the arm.
So
Right.
try running with that when you haven't slept in
Can
3
you
But
days.
again,
imagine? That'd
the
be
book
so
didn't
funny.
say that. Like, if the book had told us something, I agree with you. I that's what I would imagine.
Maybe the book assumes that you will like infer something on your own.
But it's
Trust-
for 10-year-olds.
Yeah, the book
Is
doesn't.
it?
The book doesn't
It
assume
is.
that. Yeah, it is for 10-year-olds. The book does not assume that. I'm gonna say.
But anyway, so she's running, and when she throws the key away, she's like, wait, there's another 2 hours I have to go to get to the chateau from the summer house. That is so long.
This is where I
Yeah.
would find like a horse or something.
But also, this is where we get into the discussion, and I'm not going to beat the dead horse, that time isn't consistent throughout this book. And it's really kind of annoying, because what's going on in the castle?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Because it takes 2 hours for her
2
to get there.
hours.
Yeah.
2 hours for that part alone.
Right.
When she already... Because
Yeah.
this is still when she went there, met her father, discovered everything. Oh, no, she didn't meet her father. But she found it was all a ruse.
Well,
And
yeah.
then went to the summer house, was attacked by puppets and marionettes, was there for a couple hours, befriended Otto, like all this stuff. And now it's still another 2 hours until she meets the Countess again.
I think it all comes down to, and again, I don't want to beat the dead horse either because I know we've discussed this already, but
Why
like,
is everyone beating the dead horse?
Because
'cause
the
some of these
horse
things-
deserved it.
Horses never deserve
Brittany.
it. Take it back.
I read a post about how like delicate horses' legs are, that they're essentially just like fingers, like how it's like soft and like they don't have any muscle in them. They're all just tendon and bone, and that's why they run fast. But they're very easily broken.
Oh,
Poor horses.
poor horsies.
And thank you for making that worse.
You're welcome. I was just beating it.
It's like, and
We're
now
sad.
everybody's sad.
So you don't need to beat a dead horse. You just need to aim for its legs.
Exactly.
This is just not.
That's why they
where
get them
one-
sent to the glue factory, and then made into dog food.
I don't
my
remember what the
gosh, this
dead
just
horse
took a
was that I was
turn.
going to beat.
Yeah, you don't know that they make glue out of horse hooves.
No, I did not know that. I thought, I don't know what I thought. It just glue appeared.
And also, it's in gelatin, so when you eat Jell-O, it's horse hooves.
Well, that was the last Jell-O I ever ate.
and jelly beans.
Stop
and-
it. Please stop ruining my life.
Swedish fish
Stop
are good though.
talking. I hate Swedish fish.
No, no.
God, there's something so wrong with this.
Anyway, so what else do we have to say about this chapter?
I don't remember what the dead horse was that I wanted to beat. However,
Oh, the time.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but there was
it's a
something
special
else.
world, so time works differently here. So that's
No.
no surprise that
No.
it's all messed up.
I hate when people use excuses. You
But
know,
it's not an excuse. It's
It
not a
is.
real world.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. It's
It's not even that. It's when Chip's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I have to remember how much time I'm spending here so I could go back. So that inferred that they run on the same timeline. And so she knows the time difference between the two. So the time you spent with her while she is waiting for Chip's birthday party seems like describing everything she's doing, the conversations she's having, is 1-to-1 ratio of what's going on in the castle.
So it runs on the same
timeline.
Okay.
In this situation, it's not the same because while we're reading it, she's going through all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're tracking it,
sorry. I just
no, that's fine. As you're tracking it, and you read the small little clippets that are happening in,
They don't match up.
they don't match up. So they're like, oh, she's missing her toasted cheese sandwich, and Beast is translating Greek philosophy. So what happens in Nevermore, it seems like 10 hours?
It's a long time.
So in the castle, Belle's been missing for 10 hours.
I will add one thing though. Out of curiosity though.
Yeah.
This is Death's world, right? It's essentially where she spends most of her time. It's just been made to reflect what
Belle wants
or needs or whatever Death has decided.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that the time moves differently once Death decides it will move differently?
Well,
So maybe like in the beginning, it's so Belle inferred it to be a certain amount of time and it matched up. But now that the illusion has shattered, the time is moving differently.
my argument for that would be, why is Death taking a nap then? Why is she going to sleep?
Right.
She could just fast forward to whenever she wants and
Yeah,
hop.
but she's just want to relax.
Look, this is
Yeah.
in my experience, I've seen a ton of
She's
bad
immortal.
movies, a ton of
Exactly. Why is she sleeping to begin with? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
good question, yeah. Read a ton of bad books, seen a ton of bad movies, and in my experience, when I talk to people who like these, like, not the fact that they're like,
They don't pick it apart.
it's not even that they're picking apart, it's just that you can excuse a bad book or movie or any story for anything. You can use anything to cover up the fact that you could say, well, that's not that bad because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That's not a good excuse to me. You could say, oh, well, they just changed the time. Okay, well, that's not good enough to me. Like, the book never explains anything. It never gives us anything. Better books do. Like in Narnia, for example, we know that time doesn't pass by. They get back out of the wardrobe and no time has passed. You know,
Page Master, which we referenced
Yeah.
before. Did you ever see that movie, Page Master?
it's with
feel like I
Macaulay
have.
Culkin.
Yeah, he gets like trapped in a library, goes into a book, lives his whole life, pops out again, no time has passed.
That's right. Yeah, I haven't seen
So.
that in a really long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's others. I
So-
can't think of any. But
Yeah.
The show Magicians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen that, but
They
yeah.
go into when they go for looking for one of the keys, they have a whole life they spend
Yeah.
from their age to when they are old and they have families and they die, and then they one of them finally finds the keys, pops out, and they're both there. Same
That
age.
is a lot.
And
to
they
handle.
remember. They remember.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you can make it fit. But I don't feel like we know, because we were told in Magicians and Page Master and whatever you referenced, Narnia, we are told how time works there. We are not told how time works here, so we have to infer it.
But can I just say, too, that I think I remember what I was going to say about beating the dead horse, about how I just hate that death is... I hate how petty death is, because it makes a lot of insinuations about death itself. That death is not a nonpartisan thing. She plays games. She plays tricks, and it's very...
We said that before, how we
Right.
don't like how they personified her.
Yeah, it's very weird to me.
But
that,
love is playing games too.
Yeah.
I agree. It's just very, again, and we'll talk about
It just
books.
reminded me of old MySpace and
What?
Facebook banners. I don't play these games.
I remember that, yeah.
But in ancient,
It's all bedazzled and Yeah, in
Before,
ancient
when people
mythology.
believed in many gods, gods were mischievous.
Well,
they
but-
played games.
But that's gods, not personifying love and death.
Well, what's her name was the personification of love.
She was the god of love. I wouldn't say she was the personification.
Oh,
of
she
love.
wasn't love.
Yeah, she
Aphrodite.
wasn't literally love.
She just
These are-
represented love.
Yeah, like these are emotions where they were. Because I think that would be cool, actually, if they had Greek gods in here or something like related to French lore.
Because they reference a lot of them, like
yeah.
Hades and Persephone. And
That would be cool.
all
They
that
do
type of stuff.
reference them.
Yeah.
Which would make sense
Yeah.
because then it's similar.
Yeah.
So maybe this is like, maybe they're part of that, or
If they referenced it, I would believe it. But I like
Yeah.
what you said about the Greek gods. Like, that would actually be cool if that was
the book.
something with... I love doing this podcast because I love how we're bouncing off ideas. And,
Yeah.
like, we could, like, make a really good book.
like the Third Arm musical.
That's my
actually
favorite.
love that. I
And
think
I
that
think-
would be phenomenal.
Look, we have the microphones. We have the tools. We're going to record a song.
You guys are going to record a song.
All right.
I'll help write the lyrics.
Okay, good idea.
I'll sing it.
There you go. Perfect.
I'll record it
All right.
and edit it.
Any other notes on this chapter?
No.
No. So she's running to the castle.
Yeah.
And they did point out specifically she's running up the castle and the two stone lions are there. So you're shadowing.
Yeah. And she knows that death is here.
She knows that death is here because she sees like movement in the castle and
I
lights.
thought
And,
she was napping.
oh,
Well,
that's
it's
the
Moonshard, right?
Is it Mouchard?
Is it?
the
Well-
stuff that's moving. She saw a ghostly glow of the
Candelabrum?
How would she know that's
Candelabra?
exactly what it is?
Look,
Moving
this book,
past the window. So yeah, it is Muchard.
she's here.
Yeah.
She said grimly.
She's here.
She's here.
Is that what Belle sounded like? I thought she was more husky than that.
She's so husky. She's husky for the Countess.
She's here.
I'm so excited to point out the BDSM that's coming up.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what? What's coming up?
This
You'll see.
book gets... All right. So she starts up the steps, and now we're on chapter 61.
61. All right. What could be my
You guys
one
are
sentence?
So organized with your highlights and your notes. I'm just like, whatever. I'm the third arm here. I'll just hang.
I'll just
Oh,
hang.
that's why the third arm... Oh my gosh, that's a good part of the musical. Like, the third
I'll
arm...
just-
He's always... The third arm has always felt like he can get away with anything, you know, but at the same time, he wants to be included. She, it, what have you, wants to be included.
They want to be included.
I'm just
like,
hanging around, guys.
I wish that I could be a part of the, like, I want to be the person who, or the arm. Oh my God. With your permission, can we put that on Instagram?
Oh
I'm
my God,
kidding.
no, because that is literally a third arm.
Just peeking around a corner.
Hey, you. Lean back. Lean back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I too loud?
Oh, is that what you're saying? I didn't
I
even
just wanted to
notice.
say it.
You're good. You can come
I
back
wanted to
up.
say
Just
it.
you were laughing. No, you want to lean forward. Yeah.
Remember
But
that?
I didn't even notice.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. We're practicing laughing.
Oh my God,
Wait.
this is gonna look really
I'll
silly.
get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. No, I didn't do the laugh right.
Oh my God,
That's
you're
good.
going to cut all this out, aren't you?
I
No.
hope so. Oh God. All
I'm
right.
the editor. I'm God.
I am God.
Wow.
I
So
just made a big assumption.
61. I don't have a summary. She creeps.
I mean,
She does the creep.
Belle's creeping.
Do you guys
While
remember
she's
that song?
creeping, I'm going to take the opportunity to personally recommend an audiobook of your choice available at audio.com.
Audible.
Audible. I'm just cut this out. We're just going to redo this.
Okay.
I won't take the opportunity. Just keep going.
Are you sure?
We'll do it again. Don't worry. When you
Yeah,
feel
it's okay.
comfortable, you do it. You do you. Okay. Yeah.
So, but do you ever see the music video "Creep" by Lonely Island featuring Ariana Grande?
What's it? I'm a creep?
I'm a creep. Ah, do the creep. Ah.
No, I have
No.
not.
Because I'm a creep. I'm a
Oh, that's who sings
Yeah.
that? I forget who sings
Nod
All
Grande.
that. No, that's a rock band.
I know.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about.
I don't
Lonely
even know any
Island.
of these songs.
Anyway, so Belle's creeping about, and there's a lot of expedition. Is that what the word is?
What?
When they
What
tell you something.
Oh, wow, why is it not coming to me? I know what word you're saying.
What are you guys trying to say?
Like when they are giving
information by just
info
like
dumps?
telling it. Yeah,
info dumps, exposition.
Exposition. There's a
Yeah.
lot of exposition right here.
But info dump might, but yeah, exposition, info dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know what an info dump is?
Yeah, but I don't understand how this applies.
Okay, go ahead, Brittany. I'm sorry.
so she creeps into the castle, and they're like, "How are we going to find the Countess?" And Muchar is telling one of the maids that she's in her bedroom on the 3rd floor. Don't disturb her. Make sure she has her traveling coat ready for tomorrow. So there's a lot of...
Which, why? I hate when
So
this
convenient
happens.
eavesdropping.
Yes,
Exactly.
it's convenient eavesdropping, and it's just convenient in general for the main character. Like, of course, the Countess would be sleeping, so that it would give Belle a chance to get away.
Yeah.
Like, Belle is very... I read one of the 1-star reviews on Goodreads, and it's saying that everything just happens to Belle. Like, Belle doesn't do anything. Everything just happens. That's like a
Because
terrible
in
character.
in what world would Belle be an aggressive character that goes up to that room? The Countess is all like packing for her trip to go kill people or whatever, or not kill people, but collect their
Reap
souls.
their souls.
Reap their souls.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Belle's like, "Bitch, give me my bracelet back," and then,
Yeah.
I mean, she
Not
did throw a chair.
She did throw a chair in the
damn, she threw a chair. Come on
beasted
now.
it. Like, she hulked out.
Well, she's probably been watching Beast for a while now.
Yeah,
She probably picked up
just
some pointers.
deadlifting chairs.
Oh, I remember when he tried to
Doesn't
throw
he,
that
like,
chair
throw
at me.
fits and throw
Yeah.
like furniture
Yeah,
and
he
When,
does.
when she
Yeah.
left
Oh,
and
can you
ran with the
imagine?
wolves.
Like, did that chair go out?
Yeah, she
What?
busted
Yeah.
through a door.
She
with
went through a
it.
door, and she yells too. She goes, "Ah!"
Can you imagine this happened in a castle? That poor chair would be like, "Ow!" and the door's like, "Ow!" You know, because they're living things.
I picked up what you put down. It's okay.
I'm done here.
Know what else is done here? Not joking.
The third arm's going for a rest.
That third arm is having a
Tuck it
great
in.
day.
Would you tuck in your... If you didn't want your third arm to be, like, talking a lot, would you tuck it into your pants? Like,
Listen,
Would you?
you
I feel like we're in
hide
Poderotica right
you
now.
would tie it down. You would tie it
Oh my
down.
god, you can masturbate so easily with a third arm.
Stop it. And like nobody would know. 'Cause you're like,
Exactly.
"Hey guys."
She's like, "Hey guys, ah!"
When they
And
say,
you're driving in the car, you're like, "Hey," while your third arm's busy.
You're in a good
stick shift would be a lot easier.
Hell yes. You can have a sandwich and drive and
And shift.
shift. Thank you.
Why don't we all have
to say
third
masturbate.
arms? And masturbate. You need a fourth arm for that.
Because if they see a third arm on an ultrasound, they usually abort you.
Oh, the fourth arm.
No.
What?
It usually means you ate your twin. You absorbed your twin. And
Oh,
it's like,
that's gross.
Can you pass me the tissues, please?
we derailed this podcast.
All right. Thank you.
We are losing our sponsorship.
Right, everybody.
Sorry.
Patreon. Patreon.
Oh my god, I think I just died a little.
Ow. Okay.
It's so funny.
Oh my god.
See,
No,
good thing
it's
you
because
forgot
we're
to put on
laughing.
makeup.
No, I know, yeah. Well, I'm actually, the reason I realize now, it just occurred to me, the reason I blow my nose so much is because we're laughing a lot, and I cry when I laugh very easily. That's why.
Don't cry.
I-
Don't cry for me.
Jamal asked if he could be a
Argentina.
guest.
What?
Jamal asked if he could be a guest on our play.
Oh, that,
friend of mine.
yeah. The one who does
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
My mad existence.
I don't know what you guys are
I
saying.
left my, wait. I
kept
lost
my-
kept my promise.
What the fuck are you guys singing?
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Is that a musical?
I had to let it happen. Sorry.
Sure.
I had to.
No more ranting.
We'll do our best.
No more ranting and raving.
All right, so
So-
62.
61 still.
61.
I mean, hold on, let me
Oh, yeah,
see.
61. You're right.
I'm just going to say real quick, just building off of what we said, how we were coming up with all those ideas. One of my notes is there's so much potential in this book.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot, like, it seems like something's holding it back. And I wonder if it's just that it is a Disney book, that it is a Beauty and the Beast
I think
story.
so, because, like, when she was talking about the marionettes and the puppets, it got really, like, detailed and graphic and, like, exciting. And I agree with you. I think it's because she just had to pull it back. In addition, it is for 10-year-olds. So my complaints about the clipped sentences and not having it, like, tying it in with and or makes sense because their structure for 5th graders is shorter sentences. So
Which
I had
doesn't
to
make
take
you
that
wonder
out.
what her other books might sound like, the ones that are not limited by Disney.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
What was the one, like Red Rose or White Rose or something?
Yeah, something like that.
She has a
lot.
mermaid series
Oh, does
and
she?
like a tea series. Like
Yeah.
Tea, like English tea,
tea, yeah.
French tea.
I think so. But she has a mermaid series. A lot of people were talking about that. Because it's funny that you read some 1-star reviews. I also went on Tumblr. Speaking of which, we just started a
Oh,
Tumblr
yes.
page. Woohoo! And I was curious what people were posting about this book. And they were... What was my point?
You were reading 5-star reviews? Or 1-star? On Tumblr?
I was reading reviews on Tumblr.
What people were saying about her other books.
Her other books, and they were saying how much better they were than this one. People were surprised and upset. And it's also funny, I don't know if you remember one of the very first episodes on this, I talked about how much I hated the concept of love and death on it. Somebody pointed that out on Tumblr, and she had written, love and death are pointless in this entire book because you could just have an enchanted book that she falls into and the book controls her. That was the exact same point I made like our second episode.
Yeah.
So it's funny how everyone is seeing the same thing that we're seeing. So I just thought it was neat.
It is, yeah. A lot of people you find when you read those reviews are saying a lot of the similar stuff to what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think because it's just, like, and again, the dead horse thing, but like, it doesn't have to be a bad book when it's a kid's book.
Yeah.
It can be a good book, you know. It just because it's for kids doesn't mean you have to dumb it down.
Yeah.
Dumb down the sentence structure, dumb down the
Well, that you
characters.
do. You have to simplify because they're
The
not advanced.
sentences,
You have to
yeah.
simplify
But
the sentences.
simplify sentences, but that's not simplifying sentence structure. You can write a good sentence for children.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
5 words.
Yeah, like
know.
you could write good sentences. They don't
Yeah.
have to be choppy unless that's what they're going for. But this book is not really going for anything. So, like, yeah.
Oh, well.
I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say.
Yeah,
So
a lot
should
of what was the word? Not expedition, but
exposition. and
exposition
photons, yeah.
in this chapter. So they're like, how are we gonna do this? Oh, and this is what's really funny about it because remember in a previous episode they all huddled together to create a plan, and the plan was just to get the things. It's the same thing at this. Bella's awful at making plans. Like, what are we gonna do? And you hear Mouchard explain that she's gonna go to bed. It's like, whoa, that's what we have to do. We have to go up there and get the bracelet.
There was no plan. Yeah. They just, I know, yeah. They just go over the same thing over and over. The plans, there's no plan. But I will say, I do like the description of death on my page 312, or like the scent of death.
Yes, I was just about to point that out.
It's like a heavy, spicy scent filled the air. Belle recognized it as the Countess's perfume, but she'd smelled it elsewhere too, and now she realized where. At funerals held in
Calla lilies.
Calla lilies?
Yeah. The lilies have a really sweet, sickly smell.
Ah.
Yeah, cloying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good one.
How do you say that? Villanova? I don't know why I can't say that now.
Villanove's.
The town she lives in? Villanueva?
Villanove's church.
It's like New Village.
Yeah. Myrrh, oils. Oh, that's a good point. Myrrh, oils of cinnamon, and clove. These things were used to anoint the dead. But it's interesting that you just said, what does it mean again, the town name?
I thought it just translates to New Village. I mean, I could be wrong.
That would be interesting if the village was like ahead of its time and like a lot of smart people, or like people who were more in, like, us enlightened, which they're not. So, just kidding. But yeah, that's a good thing to point out, though. That's interesting.
I've highlighted a laurel wreath.
Yeah.
Because that is on top of her bed, and so I googled it and said, "What's the significance of it?"
Yeah.
And that is sympathy, laurel.
Ah.
So for the dead, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, that is. So that's kind of cool that's in. I wish that was in more of the book, because that surprised me when I read that. I thought, wow, that's actually really cool.
It's stuff like that is neat.
Can I see that again? For a second?
And this is why I know she's more she's smarter an author than we're giving her credit for.
Yeah.
She is doing her research. So Belle sneaks into the bedroom.
Yeah.
She recognizes the smell from funerals and all this death decor. Like, surprise, surprise. Like,
Death is conveniently sleeping because that's what death does, apparently, before a big soul-reaping
You would think,
adventure.
oh, yeah,
you would think
true.
she would just like know, like sense that somebody was there, like
Yeah.
a living presence. Come on, now.
Oh, that would be cool.
yeah.
Like,
She's tired. She's been playing this crazy game for like 3 days.
I know,
now.
just for the one soul. Like, it's not even her soul.
It's not about
Well,
the soul. It's about winning
winning the
over love.
wager.
Which also,
Yeah.
that was another review
Ugh.
where somebody wrote like, well, why is Death, like, what is Death doing paying attention to Belle? Is nobody dying now?
Yeah.
Like, is she ignoring her duties? Like,
yeah,
is Death?
isn't that? Yeah, but isn't that what it was? Didn't somebody like? You made a comment before in a previous episode or podcast, where that was actually one of the people back in the castle. People, either the candlestick or the clock.
Lumiere,
I forget
yeah.
everyone's names.
Yeah.
Made
Lumiere,
a comment
Cogsworth.
that it's everyone's doing pretty well. Like,
Well, we
it's-
thought it would be cool if that was the case.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
there
what
was
I don't
never-
know.
remembering.
Yeah, it didn't. No, you're remembering right. We thought, but it didn't really say. You're good.
It didn't say in the book that, like, there was a time of peace. You
It would
know?
have been cool if Death, like, with all her explanations, could have been like, "Wait, you think that, like, or I've been ignoring everyone to capture you, like
Yeah.
something like
But what
that."
is she really ignoring? Because people die anyway. She's just not there to reap their souls.
Well, no, she takes their souls because she's Death.
Right, but let's say someone dies without death being
The
around.
soul just floating around.
Or it's in limbo. Ghost people, that's how ghosts happen.
Or would they die?
Poltergeist.
Dude, that's why all the ghosts are so old. Like, you don't see
Yeah,
a
she was
ghost
busy
wearing a
going
scarf
after-
and flannel. So, there's no hipster ghosts. They're all old ghosts.
I would say that their soul would be trapped in their body, so like they wouldn't be actually dead yet. They'd just be
but
suffering.
then they'll be rotting. And
I know,
like,
but that's the point because
No,
Death's
that'd
not
be
doing her
ghosts.
job.
That'd be
Ghosts.
ghosts.
But how would they die if Death's not there to do the job?
Wars happen even if death is not around.
But
According to this
Death
book.
would be around. That's the thing. Death
But
would
in this
be
case,
around.
she's not like actual death. She's more like the
she's the gatekeeper.
or like the soul.
Then the book should say
She brings everyone to Nevermore.
that. Mm-hmm.
That the Beetle says everyone ends up here,
Right.
but not today. So she has to bring all those people into Nevermore.
Right.
That's
a
terrifying.
busy
Yeah.
chateau.
She's busy.
It is terrifying, yeah.
But anyway.
And so, as Belle's trying to creep over there, because Death's asleep,
With the bracelet around her wrist.
yes, Arane starts, I guess, trapping, or like weaving like silken thread around over the Countess.
And
to
this is
trap
where
her
the
there.
BDSM is coming in,
All right,
ladies
you
and
go,
gentlemen.
you go for it.
No, that's all the comment. Like,
I
the
don't understand.
Countess.
Why is it BDSM?
Bondage.
No, but which part?
The spider, she's putting webs all over the Countess to, like, lock her down.
So that Belle can do her thing.
It's non-consensual BDSM. Light. It's mild as far as that goes. There's no whips and chains. But also, have you guys ever walked into a spider web? They're pretty easy to break apart. Like,
Yeah, I guess so.
He's got special spider webbies.
Arane's not like Arane's a cool spider, not a normal spider. Okay.
okay, that's true.
You know.
We also don't know the size of her.
Oh God, that's true. Yeah, we were commenting on the size of these bugs because it's never really said how big they are, and like so you could either guess they're like really small and Belle like confers with them like crouching on the ground with them, or they're like really freaking huge, and it's still weird because Belle doesn't comment on the fact that they're freaking
huge.
scary.
Yeah.
Either way, just you look confused.
No.
Did you just imagine them regular sized?
I actually hadn't imagined them at all.
Oh.
No, I imagined them like this size.
Like about the size of a palm.
Yeah, because they were crawling over the food.
Yeah. Well,
What's the problem?
You're okay. Go ahead.
but still, like,
This is pretty big. I mean, they
That
could
is
be,
pretty big.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
they could
big
be
enough.
Flying in front of her face.
Oh God, that would be awful. Please, like.
well, anyways, so Belle's like, clever spider. She's like, Belle didn't even come up with the plan. Aranade just
Right.
went for it.
Everybody does things for her.
Ugh.
She just can't be a character.
You know, it's not really BDSM if it's not consensual. I mean, you can have some non-consensual shit
So
that
it's just
happens.
But then it's
torture
just
then.
rape.
That's just no. That's just bondage.
Well, I mean,
Like,
if
kidnapping.
Belle did something, I'm saying.
Well, the B in BDSM is bondage.
Right, but that's usually implies that it's something that you want. It's a kink.
Oh.
In this case, that's just tying someone up.
Oh, that's true.
Not really kidnapping, but it's tying someone up.
Tying
and
someone
holding
to
them
a
against their will.
bed. And
All right, let's forget the
She's
technicalities.
going to wake up and be like,
Come on, come on.
"Ooh."
Oh, God. And so the chapter ends.
Wow.
she bent down over the Countess, carefully releasing the catch on the bracelet's gold clasp. The glass snapped open, and so did the Countess's eyes.
Dun, dun,
Everything
dun.
snaps around and open, and everything, like, the book snapped up in the library and snapped open, and then Harry snapped around, and so did Otto, and now her eyes are snapping open. My God, like, everyone just, why can't we do things casually?
Look, she likes the word. She likes using that word, snapped. So, chapter 62.
A total of 9 sentences.
You want to know my note for this chapter?
What?
Oh man, Brittany, count the sentences.
That's really funny. I highlighted the last word on my Kindle and
Yeah.
specifically wrote 9 sentences. Oh, actually, it was sentences because I spelled it wrong. Because I wasn't paying
I forgot that I
attention.
can do that, like highlight sentences and make notes.
Oh,
I'm gonna do that with the
constantly.
next book.
9 sentences.
Yeah, and my other note is so all of this for a bit. All right. Like, it's just a lot of work, okay?
I really like what Death says, though.
What?
There are thousands of ways to die, my dear. Some are easy, and others are very, very hard. Yours will be in the latter category if you take that bracelet from me.
Dun, dun, dun! Oh man. That was great.
So and Belle doesn't even say anything in this entire
She just
9 cent. Yeah,
That was a good one.
that was very good. And then she ran for her life.
Yeah.
So.
So, on to chapter 63, right? Because you don't have anything else to say.
Oh, here we go. Sexual tension, though.
Okay.
I'm just gonna read this whole thing.
Okay.
The Countess spoke the word coolly. She tried to get up but couldn't. She looked calmly down the entire length of her body. Then her eyes found Belle's again. Like, hey. I know she looked like the entire length of her own body, but it's a proposition.
What she
It's
wants, but she
welcoming.
can't have. Kind of like
Exactly.
looking like, drink that in.
Take this tall glass of water. Tatyana does not agree.
Look,
I just feel like we read 2 different books.
well, here's the thing. We're being bad readers right now because
Yeah.
we're making up completely random shit that this book is not implying, but we so want it.
For your
right?
fanfic, you should literally just take the sentences out and put them directly in.
Maybe I will, because I actually was thinking, I was listening to something the other day and was talking about like this weird, it actually might have been in Poderotica. They're talking about like a weird description of milky white skin, and I heard that and I'm like,
Ugh,
that's like disturbing.
It is Poderotica.
Yeah, but like at the
mine,
same
I have
time,
milky white skin.
I was gonna say at the same time, there's something intriguing about that it's kind of disturbing, but like,
porcelain. skin
porcelain. Oh,
versus
yeah.
milky white. I hate the word milky and creamy.
Milky, yeah.
It grosses me out.
But I thought
Porcelain.
that made me think about it. Like
That's
I was like,
what
oh
my
man.
makeup is called. It's porcelain colored.
Ooh. So you had to disrobe?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like look how she just like
There's one
Look at my
porcelain
shoulder. Here's my shoulder. Can't you
Actually,
see it's
I
porcelain?
think the shoulder's not very porcelain. Gets a lot of sun in the car. It used to be porcelain. It's porcelain in the winter.
It's aged.
Whoa.
Aged porcelain. No, I'm talking about
Listen, buddy.
like antique. No, that's still bad.
Stop.
Okay, let's continue.
My third arm.
The third arm does not
not
approve.
happy.
Third arm.
is just flipping me off right now.
Yep.
All right, chapter 63. We're just not going to do the one sentences, right?
Yeah,
let's just
go.
not. Yeah. So-
But I found this incredibly funny, this chapter.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Tell me
So
why.
they're running, and Muchar is at the bottom of the stairwell, and Belle's like, I don't know what to do. There's this hulking man.
Is that
And
what if she says?
no, but it's inferred. And he's like, the bracelet, Belle, throw it. Oh, no. Lacanos says
Yeah.
this. Lacanos goes, the bracelet, Belle, throw it to me. So this is where we have to discuss the size of these fucking insects. Because if they are the size of your palm, then this is impossible. So Lacanos and the spider have the bracelet in their hands, and they run over and trip Mouchard, who's a grown-ass man. Like, so, and it's a hair bracelet.
Right.
But he's
How
not
long
used
is
to.
this
He's not used
bracelet?
to being a human, so maybe he's just awkward.
Don't
on
make
his human
excuses.
legs.
Look,
Don't make excuses
My
for
notice,
this.
Mouchard trips. Again, is this a comedy? Am I watching an early 2000s Frankie Muniz movie? That's what I
That's
wrote.
funny.
Yeah. Like,
And how, like, I know she wrapped the bracelet around her wrist, but, like, let's say Belle has long hair. Like, what, 2 feet in length
Yeah,
or
but she
whatever?
probably weaved it into like maybe a tiny braid or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. But, so it's 2 feet in length.
But it's very light.
These two bugs have this 2 feet in length cord, and they're just scuttling across the ground, which I could just, like, step over them. Or kick the bracelet, or grab it off the ground.
Maybe he didn't expect to have something like run right across in front of his feet, and he just stumbles on his own. Have you ever had that? Like a cat runs across your path, and you're like, it doesn't even touch you. It doesn't actually trip you. You trip yourself by like.
But also,
Look.
that's a cat.
once again,
Not
people can
incest.
always come up with things to defend bad material, okay? We could be here all day, right?
And we
I'm saying.
don't have all day, so
Right,
let's
we
move
don't,
on.
yeah.
And toss of the hair, pulling it tight, and then they tripped the charging Mouchard. I like the alliteration of that. Trip the charging Mouchard.
Try to say that 5 times.
Trip the charging Mouchard. Trip the charging Mouchard. Trip the charging Mouchard. Trip the charging Mouchard. Trip the charging Mouchard.
You did pretty well.
Thank
Very
you.
well, actually.
It's ours that really tripped me up.
Oh, really?
Trip, trip, trip.
All right, fair enough.
So yeah, they tripped him, and he went sprawling and hit the stone floor with a shuddering thud.
Yeah,
I hate this.
I know. Yeah.
These bugs have to be ginormous for this to physically work.
Well, then the bugs even say, Lucano says, which way? And I'm thinking, you literally can fly. You tell her the way.
Go upstairs. Fly above them.
Yeah, like, you can get away and just... And depending on how big they are, I mean... Okay, this is a example of defending the book where it doesn't deserve it, but, like, if they were big enough, could they carry Belle? I don't know. It'd be nice.
If they were big enough.
Yeah, but we don't know, and they probably aren't, but, you know. So, just lead the way. Come on now.
So she's flying down the stairs, trying to find the book to get back into her world.
Yeah.
Why is Mouchard still in human form, though?
I wondered that,
I
too.
don't
Didn't
know.
he just turn into a vulture by now?
I was wondering that as well.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
why...
pretty dumb.
Yeah, because he doesn't have to put the act on anymore.
Maybe he needed to be human form in order to tell the maid that Death was sleeping or taking a nap and to have everything ready.
But then he could transform back after he
Right?
tells
Why
her.
wouldn't you?
Well,
if you're
because-
natural form.
He's not transforming. Death is
Oh,
transforming
Death.
him.
Yeah.
Well, then my question is, why does...
Yeah,
Just
why does she need him
Death.
to be still in human form?
if it's done, which I guess
she
she thinks
still
it is.
needs a footman at the moment.
I guess. I mean,
That's weird.
yeah, it's just, you know.
Anyway,
Anyway.
so they're running. Belle hurried through them. What does that mean? I'm backtracking.
I guess, like, hurry
through the doors.
Yeah. And one thing I brought up was, like, why are they still calling her the Countess? Like, we know at this point that she's dead. Belle knows this. Correct? Does
Yeah.
Belle know that? Yeah, so why aren't we calling her
yes.
by her name?
I don't know.
Taking that power away from her. Call her Death. That's what she is.
Is
But,
that scarier?
I think so. You're being chased by death.
I mean, I think the marionettes are pretty terrifying for kids and stuff. I feel like they could
Maybe they didn't want to make it more
maybe...
dark. Or the fact that we known her as the Countess this entire time.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to
Yeah.
confuse the children.
So she's running through the roses. They've grown as large as dinner plates. Their petaled faces follow Belle as she ran, and she was sure she heard them whispering to each other. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good
That was
description.
creepy. It reminded me of The Haunting. It's a 1999 film, like horror film, with Owen Wilson in it, and the girl's name is like Eleanor, and like there's like gilded like angel faces, and they all
that's
like
based on a
turn.
book, which was much better than the movie.
Oh, most likely. I only read the.
I read the book.
I
And
only
watched
watched
the
the
movie,
movie.
and I was disappointed with the.
Oh, it's so campy, and I love it.
One thing I have to bring up is, like, obviously we talked about just this additional content that's being brought to the Beauty and the Beast story. Mm-hmm. And I guess, like, for me, it's just interesting, like, how so often we bring this up while we're reading this book, like, how good this book could have been by adding additional content. And I feel like it just didn't even think, it didn't ask, like I said, okay, I know we can do it, but should we do it? You know, like one of those things, you know? I won't go too much into that because we've already said it multiple times, but I just wanted to bring it up again because I just keep thinking that, and I just feel so sad that we didn't get something better.
You know what is pointless that didn't need to be put? And I highlighted the whole, 3-4 paragraphs.
Please do. Yeah, tell me.
About this fucking toad in this chapter. It literally takes up a quarter of this entire chapter of her talking about seeing this toad she'd seen before. It grew as large as a pony, and it's watching her and wants to eat the insects.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. And Belle talks to the toad more than she's talking to the Countess in the last chapter. Don't you even think about it, pushing the okay, and she's pushing the bugs behind her. How big are these fucking bugs?
Right. It's like, Belle, you're gonna squash me.
God.
Are you sure that nowhere in the beginning of the book, when the bugs first made an appearance,
it didn't say the size.
They were big enough to go onto the table.
Yeah.
It just said a large bug.
Yeah, a large bug. So we can assume that they're bigger than the average bug.
I mean, but you're
But
not
that's
going to
still
push
scary.
it behind you.
Maybe they're flying and you're shh.
Then you splatter them against the wall. It's like, get behind me. Oh no.
Oh, God. So Belle whacked him, this fucking toad, in the snout. Stop it. The creature squealed in pain. Toads don't squeal. That's a very specific sound. And then ran away. So,
how easy.
Why did we need any of that?
Why? Yeah, why?
Time delay, maybe?
It needed more
minimum
attention.
word count.
Wait, what did you say?
A minimum word count.
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't even think of that.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Maybe if she expanded on some of her chapters, there were only maybe 9 sentences.
You know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of, have you ever participated in NaNoWriMo?
No.
National Novel Writing Month?
No.
I have, and your novel sucks usually. You really have to edit. The one I wrote, I think 2 years ago, it's so awful. I can't even look at it. It's just so bad.
Oh.
I mean, I don't want to look. It's just not something I want to continue with.
You don't even want to touch it again.
But there's one, I read it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is awful. I feel like this is a NaNoWriMo book. She had to get the 50,000 words, and then, all right, here you go, publisher. And they're like, oh, well, the movie's coming out.
She probably has a contract with...
Yeah.
I'm sure she does.
Disney.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but minimal word count, didn't even think of that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
So they get to a maze.
Yes.
And this is where things get a little bit more intense and the speed picks up again. Mm-hmm. They hear a crashing and a roar and all that type of stuff, and Belle's blood ran cold. And she's like, run. I know. Well, I wanted the bass to drop because there's that song.
Dubstep.
Yeah, dubstep. It's like, run. So they're like, why are we running, Belle? Why? Because the lions are chasing them. They're animated now.
Oh man,
Things
are getting crazy.
You look
perplexed.
No, this is how my face looks like.
Oh, okay. Well, Kevin says I have a resting bitch face. Constantly.
That's not true.
I don't think so either.
Oh, well, that's because I'm speaking and I'm animated. But when I'm watching TV, I'm literally just like... And Kevin is like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, why? What's going on? He's like, you have the worst bitch face on right now. And oftentimes when I'm thinking... there was one time we went to Kohl's and we're shopping and I was talking to the cashier, but I wasn't paying attention to her. So I'm looking out into the distance and my bitch face is on. I'm don't forget the coupon. And Kevin, we got out into the car and Kevin starts laughing his ass off. And he's like, you are such a cunt. No, he didn't say that. But he's like, you are such a bitch back there. I'm like, why? What's going on? You could just don't forget the coupon.
That's awesome.
No.
It's amazing.
Oh, well.
That's a good picture.
I really like that picture. I don't even know. Those are just YouTubers, but I really love that photo.
Oh, okay.
They were playing Pokemon Go when Pokemon Go was popular. I guess it still is, but not
I know
to the
a lot
extent.
of people who still play it.
When we were at Disney, there was somebody when we were in line. They're like, "There's no Pokemon around here, Mom." And she's like, "Well, you're just gonna have to wait. We're in line now. We're not getting out of line. Find the Pokemon around here." And then also,
Funny.
we were in line. I have to tell you this: we were in line at Disney, and this woman had her daughter, who was maybe 2 or 3, and the daughter kept going, "E.T. phone home, E.T. phone home." And I'm like, this child is precious.
Baby, I love her. I'm taking her.
Yeah.
I'm going to
You
find
can
her.
teach my
and
daughter
steal
to say these things.
her. Then I'm going to steal your daughter. I hope you know
Whoa,
that.
things have gotten dark.
That's okay. You'll bring her back and pay me extra. You haven't met her yet.
I haven't. That is very true.
So
Anything else on this chapter for you? You have a good amount of notes, though.
I basically said them all. Like, because, I mean, either you guys said them or I said
The
them.
tripping and then the running and the written details of it. It's actually pretty good. I don't mind them.
Yeah.
But the fact that about the roses turning and looking at her, the sound effects that are going besides the frog squealing.
Yeah.
Everything I kind of really like this one.
Yeah.
Like panic started to whisper in her ear, telling her that she would never get out of this maze, but she refused to give in to it. She knew that if she did, she would be truly lost. Stuff like that is really encouraging to me as for this author. And when you go on Tumblr and you type in "lost in the book" and stuff, they pull quotes from the book and put it on. I'm like, that's actually very good. I don't mind it. But when you put them into the book itself as a whole, it's fairly disappointing.
So it's interesting you say that, because I think what that leads to, like what conclusion that leads to, is that this book, like a lot of times, like if you take like a sentence out of context,
Yeah.
and you just kind of like, oh, this sounds good, and then you put it in there, and it doesn't make it good,
Yeah.
especially like in the context of it. So that's an interesting point.
So, like I said, just disappointing.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. All right, final chapter for
Final
the episode,
chapter.
chapter 64. I don't have many notes for this. Is this? Yeah, it's not too long of a chapter.
No,
But at least
like
it's longer
3
than the other one.
pages.
Yeah.
She is looking for the book to find, to go
Yes.
home, and she's lost in this maze, being chased by lions. She knows the Countess is probably going to be up out of her stupid webbed bed for like any moment.
It's been a long time since she's been caught up in that web. That's some good bondage.
And like that's what I
knows
mean.
what to do. Okay.
Nice.
She's had experience already.
Do you think her and Lakanos?
Oh man. Oh, OTP.
So they are running.
She's looking for the portal and trying to get away from the lions.
She hits a bunch of dead ends and has to circle back, and she realizes time is running out.
Yeah.
How does she know that?
Because the lions are getting closer.
Oh.
And so she decides to climb up versus around because she is trapped between the 2 lions.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I like that, yeah.
I think that's very smart.
Yeah.
So she starts climbing up the maze wall. And at first I read that, I was like, bitch, lions can jump.
Yeah.
And that was very smart of the
They're
author.
stone.
Exactly.
Right.
And the branches weren't able to hold her. So while she's on top of the maze wall, she sees the book. And she goes towards it.
Yeah.
But I thought it wasn't a book on her side. And then on her side, on this side, it's a portal.
It's described differently every time. Like, it's a portal,
Yeah.
it looks like a book, we don't know what it looks like sometimes, so, you know.
Yeah. It says book, though, in this part.
I guess we can safely assume that it is a portal, and at the same time, it's a
she
book.
knows it's a book, so she describes it as that.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I mean...
Below her was the book, and with it the way out of Nevermore.
And
she was almost home.
I was going to say, what you just said about her climbing, I think that's... Correct me if I'm wrong, but the first time that Belle has really shown doing something, like, for herself. Like, I kept saying, like...
Planning-wise?
Yeah, like, things are just happening to her.
No one said Belle climb.
Exactly. Lakanos even said, like, what are you talking about? She said, I'm going to climb. So I really appreciated that moment as well, because she actually did something, and it made her seem as bad of a character as she is in this book. It made her a bit more nuanced than before. That little bit of, like, that she actually used her brain where she's really smart, you know?
Yeah.
So she got it.
And at one point, the branch breaks with her and she's
Yeah.
hanging. So I really like this portion. After what seemed like an eternity, Belle managed to plant her right foot on a branch. Because if you've ever, it might only literally be 2 seconds, but if you're ever in a very stressful situation where like it's literally life and death, that feels like forever.
Right, yeah.
So I like that.
And so, yeah, the chapter ends saying she was almost home.
Are we almost home, guys?
I guess so.
Are we almost home?
I actually forget. I have to find something because one of the things said, I guess a branch pokes her in the rump. I thought that was a very funny sentence,
Oh,
but I have to
that's
find
funny.
it because I wrote, "You can't make this stuff up." Like,
Oh, yeah. No, that was Lacanos. He flew underneath her and poked her in the rump with his sharp horns again and again.
I cracked.
Go!
I cracked up at that. I was
That
like,
is so distracting.
yeah. So that's my note for this chapter. Literally the only one. So you know where my priorities lie.
I know it's not mid review, but do you want to plug our sponsor, Tatyana?
Let's do this thing. So, for you, the listeners of Books as Bad as Twilight podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Personally, I recommend The Martian by Andy Weir. Excellent choice. It's a great book. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/BABAT. Again, that's audibletrial.com/BABAT for your free audiobook.
Nice.
Awesome.
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was very persuasive. I liked it.
Buy the book. You won't be sorry.
No, it's free. They don't have to buy it.
Yeah, they get
Oh,
it
you
for
guys,
free.
you don't even have to buy it. Do you understand?
God.
And plus you get a free 30-day trial. So what's better than that?
And what's cool about audiobooks, Audible is like, even if you decide to cancel your membership, those books are still yours.
Right, they will always be yours.
Yeah.
And you can download
neat.
them too. Like, so if you're like one of those people who's afraid, like, oh, it might disappear, you can actually download it to your device, or like I have a lot of mine on my computer. So they make it really accessible.
Yay, Audible.
My mom loves it. My mom has completely stopped reading books because her eyes aren't as good. And she's having problems with how small the lettering is. And a lot of the large
never
prints
thought of that.
is very
Yeah.
hard. And if you're if you're reading on a device, sometimes when you make the print larger, it's like 1-2 sentences before you have to flip pages.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. So she has started listening to more books, and she was having issues finding the books that she wanted to read on the library sites.
Yeah.
Like the libraries have limited amount of audiobooks available, and even on top of that, they have limited amount of copies, which is kind of weird. 'Cause
I
if it's-
agree.
yeah.
If it's an audio copy, I don't understand, but whatever. So I introduced her to Audible, and she is now insane with it. I mean,
Nice.
But the funny
yeah.
thing is, it's my account. It's my account, so I get all these notifications, like all these books just listening to it. And I get
Mom,
confused. I'm like,
what
did
are
I
you-
did I get this book? Is this the book I'm listening to, or she's listening to? But she absolutely loves it.
Well, and like we said last
Nice.
or another episode, they have courses on there too. Like I've signed up for the Great courses, and it's not just the course. You get like the booklet that comes with it.
Can you imagine? Like, all that stuff is a lot of money. And you're
Oh,
only
yeah.
paying $15 a month. Like, after the free 30-day trial.
Right, it's amazing.
But
yeah.
that's like, well, also you can get it free, like one free book a month, and that's $15, and then you could buy more books on top of that.
Correct.
But like, still, if you have a book that's like $50, just
Oh, yeah.
wait for your membership to like renew, and then buy it for $15.
Exactly.
Technically,
Yeah, technically speaking, you're paying $15 for every book because
Yeah.
you get a credit every month.
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, Audible is great, so be sure to visit our link. And yeah,
Get
again,
your free trial.
and get your free trial today and your free audiobook. And by the way, like that credit does not expire. Should make that clear.
Oh, really?
The credits do not expire.
So they build up?
Yeah, you keep them.
They
Even if you cancel your Audible account, you still have that credit.
wow.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I started Audible, the credits expired.
No, they
So
don't
they-
expire. They like accumulate.
When did
Wow.
yeah.
When it first started.
Okay, maybe they changed it cuz they do not expire.
Oh, that's
Once
so
you
cool.
get that, that is yours.
Oh, neat.
So, even if like Like, if you don't want to use it right away, that's okay. You can wait a little. It's all right.
Cool. Where else can people visit us?
Well, they can go to BaBaTpodcast.com. It's our website. They can find us on Facebook. We have a group and a page.
We have to get more active on that. Sorry,
We
guys.
do, yeah. We have a Tumblr now.
Yay!
So we're
I'm actually more active on the Tumblr than I am Facebook.
I noticed that. I mean, I just saw it obviously today, but yeah. So we have that. We also have. We'll put just so you know, we'll have the Tumblr link in the show notes, and it's also on our website. So if you don't know the link, it will be there. We have a Twitter account. We have a Goodreads, and we have an Instagram.
Yay!
That's awesome. And we also have a brand new feature for you to leave a voicemail for us. We have a link. I believe it's speakpipe.com/BaBaT podcast.
Yeah, I heard that, Tatyana. What are you doing?
I didn't realize my sound was on the phone.
How
Sorry
dare
about
you?
that.
Dare you?
Well, I had the headphones in, so I couldn't hear.
So, leave us a voicemail if you so wish. Let us know your opinion. It's 1 minute and 30 seconds, I think.
I believe so.
That's
just
a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah, and it will tell you when you record, so just be aware of that because it is a limited amount of time. We could be wrong. I'm not quite sure. Next episode, we're going to be finishing the book next episode.
Yay!
All right?
It just won't stop.
Child.
Stop clicking things!
Give me the phone.
You're such a mom
You're in
with
timeout.
your phone right now.
All right.
So next episode.
Yeah, we're going to be finishing the book.
Uh-huh.
And then, like I said, the episode after that, we're going to be talking about the book as a whole. So you can look forward to that. Vote in the poll.
Don't.
And let's end this episode by saying goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.